Deputy Boyd Barrett.
Interesting nobody else is here for this debate, I find.
Sure, I see two colleagues there.
Oh.
Yes.
A couple of people interested.
Aren't you here yourself?
I am.
For anyone.
Yeah, it's difficult to know what to say about this motion, really, because, you know, on the face of it, a motion that is calling for consistency in the implementation of penalties for breaching sanctions that are adopted by the European Union would seem like a very reasonable thing to do. We should have consistency. If we make a decision on principled grounds to impose penalties or restrictive measures on a particular regime or set group of individuals because we feel collectively that they have done something wrong, it would seem reasonable that we would have a consistent approach. But of course, the problem with all this is we don't have a consistent approach. We have a totally inconsistent approach, which, when you unpack it a little bit, actually reveals cynicism and double standards. So, Senator Francis Black introduces a bill calling for sanctions on trade between this country and the illegal settlements of the apartheid state of Israel on the West Bank. It's passed by this House, but the government makes sure it never becomes law. And of course, it's not just the Irish government, but it is also all the major European powers, because they don't want to sanction Israel. In fact, they want to, in many cases, support Israel, give Israel impunity for war crimes, for crimes against humanity, for illegal occupation, for essentially internment of Palestinians and young people, for the illegal and criminal siege of Gaza. They don't want to impose sanctions, even though under international law they would be entirely justified, in fact I would say morally obliged to impose sanctions. No such thing. Human Rights Watch, Amnesty International, the UN Special Rapporteur on the Middle East all say there should be sanctions against Israel for war crimes, crimes against humanity, apartheid, the siege of Gaza. No sanctions. In fact, the opposite. Major European powers, Britain, Germany, others, give them arms, weapons, and the European Union gives them special trade status. They actually do them favours for breaking international law. But apparently, the European Union has found its moral compass when it comes to Ukraine. All of a sudden, the European Union are champions of self-determination. They are opponents of illegal occupation, which undoubtedly Putin is engaged in, illegal, criminal, war, illegal occupation, war crimes, all that. We must have sanctions, but not apparently against Israel for doing exactly the same thing and doing it for decades and doing it with European support. So where is the moral compass? Where is the consistency? There is, of course, none. None whatsoever. Or the United States, when they invaded Iraq in 2003, where was the call for sanctions there? Now, to be honest, I wouldn't have supported a call for sanctions. Some did at the time, because I don't blame the American people for what George Bush did in Iraq. But where's the consistency? Huh? Oh, sorry, I forgot. They're the good guys. They're the good guys. Oh, that must be it. They're the good guys. So when they bomb people to bits and kill 1 million people in Iraq, it's different because they're the good guys. Or when European countries arm Saudi dictatorship to carry on a war over exactly the same period of time as Putin has been at war with Ukraine, we say not a word. No sanctions. We continue to trade with them. We continue to have meetings with them. No sanctions, not even a talk of sanctions. But apparently we need consistency, according to this resolution. So, I mean, to me, it's just the biggest load of hypocrisy I ever heard in my life. So when there's a bit of moral consistency, maybe we could take this stuff seriously.
Thank you very much for your